Hey y'all, it's Lindsey. We're gonna do a what I eat in a day video on a keto lifestyle, and we're starting off with my favorite, black coffee. It's not yet Christmas as I'm filming this, but we are thickly in the holiday season. And it's almost as if December says, no, don't worry about me. Don't worry about me. Don't stop what you're doing. Keep up with all the other activities that you've got going on. It's no big deal. But also, let's go ahead and let's heap on like a billion different activities that are time sensitive, but also no, don't let go of the laundry and meals. So we got this. You're fine. I don't want anything from you at all. And that's how I feel December would respond to people. Like, but also magic. I don't even know. And so in this time, I've gotten a lot more like lackadaisical with my food consumption, namely in one area. And if you have been here for a hot minute, you know what I'm about to say. I'm about to tell you that pepper jack cheese, pecans, and pepperoni have been my nemesis again. Like that little trio, all of it. It's sort of like a mindless fallback for me every time, every single time. And no matter how strict I try to tell myself, like, no, just scramble up an egg. Just go hard boil some eggs and have an egg as a snack. Just do that. Just do that. It's gonna be fine. You don't need the flyby situation of pecans, cheese, and pepperoni. And as a side note, I have kind of like set the pepper jack cheese aside in favor of using cream cheese, which is even more bingeable for me. It's just, it's like that texture difference of like the pepperoni and then the creamy cream cheese and then a bit of a crunchy pecan. Like those three things together are super tasty. And I have really allowed that to commandeer my food consumption. And instead of actually taking good care of me, I am allowing that to be my sustenance in an abundant kind of way. And that's not okay. That's not okay. I have this conversation with you all the time. Those are my things. I also struggle with being very rebellious against parameters. So setting myself up to fail is not ideal. But if I were to do that, I feel like if I were to say no more period, forever and ever, I would rebel against that in the next 12 minutes. But I'm gonna make the decision today to not have the cheese, the pepperoni, or the pecans. Like that's the decision for today. And I think that is how I'm going to have to approach this particular stronghold that I have in my life. My husband and I were talking about it and he's like, I think maybe it's like Keto Chow. That might be your problem. And the reality is, I don't think that it's necessarily not Keto Chow. I think it's the way that I use the Keto Chow and the snacks in combination. Keto Chow being a full meal replacement, but using it as if it were a snack is not doing me any favors at all. I'm up on the scale in a somewhat uncomfortable way, and I'm not okay with it. And Keto Chow can be a tool that you use, but it has to be a complete meal replacement, like meaning that it has 1/3 of your vitamins and minerals and it has 26 grams of protein, so it's a solid meal. But we have to treat it like a meal and not a snack. And I think I have been floundering in that department. And then you tack on the pepperoni, cheese, pecan situation as another snack, and it's like I'm having multiple full meals per day. Like a Keto Chow can be anywhere from like 400 to 800 calories depending on how much fat you choose to put in it. And I do love that about Keto Chow. Like I can actively say, I'm gonna only make this thing, a small amount of calories, or I'm gonna really go whole hog and make it my full meal replacement. And it's just one of those deals where I'm just not being a grown-up about this, to be honest. Like I am supposed to be responsible for my choices, and yet here I am allowing me to make poor choices. I'm gonna put a pin in the pepperoni, pecans, and cheese. And if I choose to have a Keto Chow, it's going to be as the complete meal rather than just like being something I tack on at the end. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Now, having said all of that, I made up 4 Keto Chows probably 3 to 5 days ago. And I don't want those to go bad. I can easily pour them into a Ninja Creamy container and have them as ice cream down the road, but I'd like to clear them out now. And it's one of those deals where it's a a simplified meal option, and I'm gonna use one as an actual complete meal today, and that's gonna be the raspberry cheesecake. I'm running really quite low on this one, but fortunately it's not one of my my top favorite ones, so that'll be fine. I do have an extra scoop of whey protein isolate from Isopure in here, so it's over 50 grams of total protein, and I used 2 tablespoons of coconut oil and a splash of cream in this. So it's a little less on the calorie front, but it's high on the protein scale. So I'm hopeful that that will be useful. And I'm gonna use that as just my meal. Like, that is the food, that is the end. And then when lunchtime rolls around, then I'll have that. But I just keep struggling with the whole, like, you have to be a grown-up. You have to be the adult for yourself. My husband, he can help me all day long. He can talk to me all day long. He can encourage me in a whole variety of different ways. But also, I have to be the adult for me too. Like, I can't just rely on him to be the grown-up. So I'm going to make the decision to just drink that raspberry cheesecake and then wait until lunchtime to see if I'm even in need of more food. All right, it's midday. The girls have almost finished all of their homeschool lessons, which means that it is almost officially Christmas break. Yay, I love it. And some cleaning has happened. Laundry has been scooting right along. We're just marching through our day. I have only had that Keto Chow and the black coffee, and I've been working on water because I also ebb and flow with water. I tell you what, the whole like being a grown-up thing tends to be like the tide. It kind of rolls in and I'm on top of it for a while, and then it sort of like rolls out and I'm like, I can live like a jerk. I have to grow up and make better choices. And it can be exhausting always having to make the best choice or the better choice. But it's really for future Lindsey. If I choose the good things now, the better things now, the best things now, instead of the easy things, future Lindsey is going to win. And I really want her to win, so. We have to go run an errand to the post office. I did a Keto Chow giveaway for their newest flavor. It's the limited edition peppermint. I am sure it is sold out by now. However, oh, it's so good. And I really hope that Keto Chow chooses to bring it back next year because they nailed the flavor. It was spot on. I need to go mail my winner her prize. Also, in 2024, I have an objective to give away more Keto Chow. I have plenty of Keto Chow for us to enjoy, and I really would like to be able to give back to my community here who show up for me regularly. So be on the lookout for those this coming year. I don't know that it's gonna be like announced ahead of time, or I'm definitely not putting it in the title because I do not wish to like draw in a bunch of trolls. But I wanna be able to give back to those of you who give your time to me because I appreciate you so very much. And that's the way that I can think of giving back to y'all. So look for that in 2024. Errands have been completed and I'm starting to work on dinner. I am kind of hungry, but I also don't want to ruin my dinner. This is a pork loin roast. I'm excited. We're gonna roast this up in the oven. And then I'm also gonna do like some roasted cauliflower and some broccoli. So it's gonna be a delicious meal and I'm excited for it. Like I said, I am a little bit hungry. Maybe I need to find something that is an appropriate food to consume and make sure that it has like 20 grams of protein or more. Let's get that done. I figured out what I'm gonna have for food. I used to love as a kid eating flour tortillas warmed up in the microwave and just like slathered with butter. I'm gonna do that, but I'm gonna use my egg wrap recipe, and it's like a tortilla substitute. I've got a video here on my channel as well as a recipe that you can print out over on my website in order to see how I do this. I'm making a smaller batch, and I wanted to show you, I've got this crepe pan that's actually a cast iron crepe pan, and I love this little thing. It's actually worked out really beautifully, and I have thoroughly enjoyed using cast iron as my sort of like medium upon which I cook. It's a fun game. I like it. So I'm gonna make these real quick. My first one was definitely a flop, but I've already taste tested it and it tastes delicious. And just cooking it in butter is a sufficient amount of butter on this dealy bop. So I think I'm just gonna sit here and eat these as they come off the crepe pan. My egg wraps were delicious. I got 5 little guys out of that batch, which was probably about a third of what my normal batch would look like. And like I said, delicious. Cooking them in butter on this little guy made for a delicious, delicious snack lunch situation. So anyway, okay, I've got dinner prepped here. This is a full head of cauliflower and it's just seasoned up with salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, and paprika. And I use avocado oil on that. And then here in my oven, I have a pork loin that I have stuffed with parsley and some avocado oil, salt, pepper, a little bit of onion and garlic. So I'm really looking forward to that. I am still a little bit hungry, like actually a lot bit hungry, but I really want to eat this pork loin instead of snacking. So that's the current situation. I've got about 30 minutes here until I can check my temperature on my pork loin and pop my cauliflower to roast into the oven. I tell you what, that roast was fantastic. I always love a good pork roast, and that one did not disappoint. I got the recipe from Joshua Weissman's website. I've not been disappointed by any of the recipes I've tried from him. Granted, it's only been a pork roast and a prime rib roast, but he's got some solid techniques and methodologies for making roasts taste divine. So hands down, will do again. Also, the roasted vegetables. Who can go wrong with roasted vegetables? I sure can't. I do think tonight I'm going to have an Element hot chocolate. I'm not sponsored by Element. I buy this for myself and my family. And they just came out with their new chocolate medley pack. It has chocolate mint, chocolate chai, and chocolate raspberry. I have not tried the chocolate chai, but chocolate mint is hands down my favorite out of all 5 of their chocolate flavors. Chocolate raspberry would be my second favorite. But I'm gonna make a hot chocolate out of that. Yes, I could use Keto Chow. I could use just some regular cocoa powder and some sweetener with a little pinch of salt, but I've not had any electrolytes today, and the Element packets just make it so simple. I do use a full packet in a mug of hot water, typically between 12 and 16 ounces of water. So that's the way I enjoy it. And I might make it a little more decadent by adding a little splash of cream.